in terms of consumers,
Yeah.
how they can use Web 3.0 or how they can benefit from Web 3.0.
Actually, the main benefit of Web 3.0 is now consumers will have control over their data, the products they use. It's all for consumers. It's not only for corporations. So, going back to our example about Web 2.0, right? When today, content creation right now, even though what we are doing, this is also part of content creation, right? Right now it's like when you create a content and you post it on any channel where any content creator get compensated for that, right? For that content, again, that is controlled by a centralized party, right? First thing is, let's step back and take, go back to my previous example.
Okay.
When we talk about our data, right, data privacy, right now that is stored at, the products we are using basically now, our information is stored at one database, centralized, location. So that's where consumers are, prone to kind of basically losing their privacy, right? And now we even say that there's no privacy as such, literally, right? We don't. That's one. Second is about, like, let's say transferring the value on the internet, right? And the payment example I mentioned. So right today, if you will look at it, actually, 2 3 weeks ago I was at FinTech South conference and I did a presentation on from Wall Street to Web 3.0, and one of the point that I shared. If you saw the first money transfer from the Western Union, it was like $300 transferred, and the total cost to transfer that money was $309.64. So that falls under like 3 to 7% fee, right? Today, even though after 150 years, that was done in 1876. Today, after 150 years, our remittance fee is still that high. It still falls under 3 to 7%, right? So then, that's like the second thing we can talk about, right? When we use Web 3.0 or blockchain technology to transfer the value, right? How can we make it much more cheaper, right? Third thing is, even we talk about metaverse, right? Literally, if you have also experienced, using VR and AR, all those devices, right? Um, Many years ago, I was in Vancouver, and actually, I did that, game, Fly Over Canada, and that was a virtual reality. And so it's like you just being in that, the place, just the experiencing that virtual reality, and it was like flying over Canada. So literally, you feel like, wow, you can touch the water, you're flying over the water, you can touch the mountains, you're right there. Next day, when actually I went to see the actual place, it felt like, oh my gosh, I was just there yesterday, right? And I could touch the water. It was such an incredible experience, right? So going back to with this technology, like use of this technology. So the first point, right? The data, like basically privacy, our privacy, right? So with Web 3.0, how consumers will benefit from it, because now consumers will control their
That
information. When you're creating content, right, you on distributed platform, actually you have the power to value your content, right? You can say, okay, to view this content, you pay me certain tokens or certain points, right? And those are valued at something. So that way, as you said, there's no third party which will take a cut. So basically it's just a
okay.
platform, right, and the consumer and your content, so you have the right. And So that's one. Second example, I mentioned about cross-border payments, right? So same thing. When you do that using blockchain technology, the fee is much lower. Especially with stable coins, and now these big companies, right? PayPal, they launched their stable coin. They have 450 million users. They embedded their stable coin with Venmo, and Venmo is their company. We use these products on daily basis, right? So that's like another thing where we will see the fee to transfer money will be significantly reduced, and the settlement timing will be much,
Faster.
yeah, faster. And the third thing, that the metaverse example I was going to give, right, the virtual reality means to me, if I have just kind of did I mean, you just do sightseeing and you go out, and even though it's the same beach and same mountains and it's so beautiful, yeah, you just like, it's like you're looking at those things far, you're there. But with virtual reality, it feels like you're, I mean, to me at least, that experience was so incredible, and that was my first time trying virtual reality. I think that was 8 years ago, 60. Yeah, it's been a while, and that time, like literally, it's like you felt like you were in a spaceship, and you're in the middle of the water. You're everywhere, like you're like a superwoman or something, right?
Like you get immersed in that world.
Exactly. So, and that same thing with metaverse means, you go and, and the it feels so real when you are, you just like an object sitting here, but your avatar, you create your avatar and you then, go to that virtual reality and you play those games. It feels so real now. Like it's hard to differentiate.
So that's for consumers, right?
Mhm.
What consumers gonna benefit from Web 3.0?
Yes.
Let's talk about in business, in corporation.
Mm-hmm.
So why people in business wants to have Web 3.0? What benefit that they can have?
No, it's actually a great question because I myself is a founder, and of course, you always want your business to be profitable, right? But I think, I mean, you are driven as a human being. We are driven about bringing that change, right, and making better products, making more improvements, right? So the thing is, when you build a product, of course, like not the example is SpaceX, right? Uh, New Elon Musk had this great vision, like making our human race a planetary species. And it's such a big corporation, so he doesn't want that to be like it's a non-profit and he's not making any money out of it. He definitely wants to have a profit out of it. But right now, if you look at it, what is the monetary value he will get out of it? Right, from business perspective, right? So to answer your question means, for me, when I am building a product, right, let's say I'm solving a problem of cross border payments, right, and I'm building product in that, definitely you want your company to be profitable, right? And when we say, I mean, consumers, they have control and they will pay less fee, and they will pay, they will receive funds faster, right? It doesn't mean there's no profit at all for me as a business. Of course, there is a some fee to transact it, but it may not be as high as what it used to be, right? Now, like Facebook, when Facebook came in, was launched, it's still free, right? But they came up with another business model, and it's a very profitable company so far, right? So I think the same way for business, the thing is, you do business and you build products because you want to make this world a better place. I think that's very philosophical, but at the same time, like that kind of like improving consumers life, your life, businesses life, right? Like basically it's driven from that. It's not only driven from monetary value, right? If it's only driven from monetary value and you're only looking for a profit, then what is the probability even consumers will like it? You build a product for consumers so that they will like it, and then monetary value will follow. It's not the other way around.